So for the R.I.D. line, I left off with Steeljaw. He was alright, but he didn't necessarily have that sort of flair I was looking for. And I didn't want to just leave off on R.I.D. for now on that sour of a note. So, reviewing a figure on the weaker end of the scale, I thought I'd review one of my favorites from the R.I.D. line, if not my absolute favorite from the R.I.D. line. That would be Transformers R.I.D. Warrior Class Fracture. Now, I've kind of liked Fracture from the show because he reminded me so much of Animated Lockdown. He was a bounty hunter who kind of had this vengeance thing with the, or not vengeance, a hate thing with the samurai ninja character Drift, which I remember Animated Lockdown, I think, with Prowl, who was a ninja of sorts. So, you know, it tugs a little bit of those nostalgia strings. So yeah, Fracture is a purple motorcycle. Or, I guess he's a choppa. That's the term for a bike that's been, to chop the front half off and they extend the front wheel. Which is what he is, as far as I can tell. But it doesn't look bad. Kind of reminds me a bit of a RTF Brimstone. Which was a good figure. But yeah, he is a purple motorcycle. Not much going for him. I mean, it's got two wheels, it's got a seat and handlebars. Yep, and keeps falling over. Yeah, my review setup kind of leans backwards and yeah, not a lot of balance. Paint-wise, it's pretty simple. Got red strip down here with some more red along the sides and some grooves. Got more grooves along here, and they even they cast the steering struts, although this section right here is solid rather than hollow, see-through. You got black up here, some more red and painted in some grooves. More red and some grooves. We got some silver up along the sides of the seat. And we got some red here, presumably for taillights. Back, we got nothing but spikes and the rear wheel. The front wheel, this actually looks quite nice from one side. You get the other side, it's hollow. There's nothing there. You can see the mushroom peg. It's not the prettiest to look at. You do have some silver here, but this is more for robot mode than anything else. But I just want to say how clean this guy is. Like, all you can really tell are the hips and the thighs, and even then, they kind of blends in. So, size comparison. Well, here he is with Blur. I'm no vehicle expert, but it takes common sense to realize that a motorcycle is not the same size as a car. Even a super sleek car like Blur. Alright, well, that just might be a problem with the line. You know, how about we compare it to something else that's from the same line? So, here is Steeljaw. I think every Transformers fan has established there will never be a motorcycle robot in the deluxe size class that will be the same size with the deluxe size car. Or same scale. It's just never going to happen. Don't look bad, though. Makes me wish for a warrior class underbite. Well, Fracture does come with a weapon. And unlike a lot of the other weapons from R.I.D., this actually was featured in the show. It's his cannon. Except they never really used it, just kept it on his back. It's a nice looking cannon. You got a bunch of red in these circles, which is quite nice. And well, looks like a pack a punch if it had the rest of the mechanism in there. It's kind of all hollowed out. It does a 5mm peg though. And this pin right here, the hole is actually meant for a 5mm weapon. So you can plug that in there, and it looks stupid, because why would you have a gun on your front wheel? That's okay. You have another hole right here, which holds it in more securely. But if you don't like that, don't like a gun sticking like that, that's good, because you can bend it in half, fold it around, and these clips right here will peg into this rear fin. Just clip that together, plug that in, and you have a tailpipe muffler system. Or exhaust muffler system, I don't know, some kind of thing. It just at the side, sure, but it's nice to have some sort of vehicle integration. So that's one of the vehicle features. He's got built-in weapon storage. Not built-in, you get the point. Does have a kickstand that folds up, and he's got rolling wheels. He rolls quite nicely. And the problem is, you're not really going to get him to... Well, you can if you get the balance right, like I just did. But you're really just gonna go, or you're just gonna keep him on a shelf and never touch him for the rest of your life. Although, since this section is on a mushroom peg, you can actually get him turning, which is great for the kickstand, because you just flop the kickstand down, you turn it in a direction, and you go. The handlebars don't turn, but hey, what you gonna do? So, now that we got that out of the way, how do we get onto its robot mode? Or his robot mode. So to transform Fracture, first thing I'm going to do, we're going to come up to the whole front section and unpick it. This, all right here, is going to become a backpack. This is all the robot. So we're going to fold the kickstand up, and we're going to unpeg the legs, for the underside of the vehicle, which will form the legs, and there are 2 peg holes that plug into these 2 pegs, which are really hard because these 2 tabs don't like to stay together all that much. Yeah, so we're just going to extend these. We're going to flip out the feet, and we're going to split the legs. Then we are going to unpeg the sides of the vehicle, and then raise the camera up, because he is quite big. We're going to fold out the hands, and then we're going to split the top of the vehicle down, or the rear section, and then we're going to rotate the whole piece around, the whole tire assembly and seat, which will rotate the head and the chest up, revealing his poker chip. And then we're going to snap that into place. So this little groove right here is facing up. I'm going to unpeg it, and that little nub will peg into that square little hole, locking the whole assembly in place. Adjusting the camera even more and getting everything in focus. And dog freaking out. And there you have it. Fracture in his robot mode. Now, what I liked about Fracture when I first saw him was just his creepy, lanky proportions. He just looked so weird and odd. I really liked him from the moment I saw him. And I still honestly do. His look is imposing. It looks powerful, yet scrawny. He looks like he could command an army. So, let's go look at the head sculpt. At the moment, out of all the Decepticons that I have currently seen, and I can't seem to get his head into focus. There we go. Him and Megatronus are the only Decepticons I've seen in the whole line, well, with the exception of Starscream, that have had a humanoid head. I mean, yeah, it does kind of resemble a chicken with the pointy chin and a little mohawk. But it looks cool. He's got mostly silver face with red eyes, and of course, mohawk, which is always good in my book. It's also got mold lines that flow into his neckline. And, yeah, overall, it looks pretty decent. New paint revealed. We got black all around here. We got the head, obviously. We have some red accents around his chest, or stomach. Those silver spikes are now fully on show, and we got some more red, and that is about it. New mold detail. Well, you got the head. You got his clawed, very pointy hands, which are very nice. And you have his feet, which have very short toes with very long heels, so he ain't falling over anytime soon. And all of a sudden, I developed the good old Southern accent. I've been living in the South for 4 years. It takes a toll on you. So, what can we do with the weapon? Well, if you want show accuracy, it plugs in back here, which is alright. It doesn't hold in the most secure way, but looks accurate enough. But you can also make him hold it in his hand in a couple of different ways. You got this, which looks alright, but since it's that was entirely off camera. Since his arm curves inward, it looks like he's holding. Okay, so say you got your hand like this, and then you hold your gun like this. That would blow your arm off. It looks like he'd blow his arm off, but it's okay. We do have this hole right here from vehicle mode, This thing likes to come unpegged. It's been very loose. And kind of give him a reverse Megatron cannon. It doesn't allow him to bend his elbow all the way since the rear fin kind of gets caught in the shoulder pad, but it's alright. I like the curved elbow look, because all you just got to do is curve it inward, rotate his legs outward, readjust the cannon, and then turn his head, and look at that. Fixes everything. And my hand is stuck in my hair. Ow. But let's say if you don't want a firearm, you want something melee, you want to get up close and personal with your guy, bludgeon him to death. Ooh, that was dark. Well, he's got a couple of different ways to hold it like a baseball bat of doom. You can hold it on the peg on the inside of what would be the whole firing mechanism, but that doesn't look good, does it? So, you got a peg on the end, and ta-da! He now has a tailpipe stick. I mean, I guess if he wants to play baseball, I don't know. I like it more as a gun, especially as an arm cannon. It just looks so good as an arm cannon. But that's just me. It's your toy. You do what you want. You want to have a tailpipe club baseball bat thing? You have a tailpipe club baseball bat thing. I just prefer my cannons. So, what about this guy's articulation? I've talked about his styles and aesthetics. How does the fella move? Well, he has a swivel in his neck, which can go about 90 degrees to either side. Got full 360-degree movement in the shoulder, although it is at an angled cut, as you can see. So, this is about the best you're going to get it. I mean, you can get it like this, but then you're going to have to use this. He does have an outward hinge due to transformation, although you could use the transformation joint here. Bicep swivel. About 90-degree elbow. No waist, and I can see why, because the whole swivel mechanism, if you did put a waist swivel in there, it'd be incredibly fragile. Ball jointed hips that get full range of movement. Thigh swivel. And full range of movement in the knee, and if you want to be picky, you can twiddle his feet, and you can break his wrist. And so yeah, that is R.I.D. Fracture. He is definitely a good figure. If you can find him somewhere, I would definitely recommend him because he is so fun, and he is a purple Harley Davidson. You cannot go wrong with a purple Harley Davidson. It's not an official Harley Davidson, it's just a look-alike. It's a chopper, it's a customized motorcycle, but it's purple. I mean, look at the dude. Mohawk, giant cannon / tailpipe thing, and he turns into a motorcycle. And he's a bounty hunter. Could there be a possible better combination than that? That just tugs all of my favorite strings. I'm gonna cut this video short before I just start gushing just pure praise about this toy. It's got problems, it's got limitations. I keep getting frustrated because he has my wrist joint and I can't get him in the poses I want, but who cares what I want? I'm just a grumpy old guy on the internet. So, yeah, just hope for the next video. Let's hope it'll be a lot better than this one because I just cannot speak tonight. The chili I had is getting in my head.